Hey guys, this is Anastasia, and this video is a catch-up video for my Full Moons of 2017 series. This video is for the Harvest Moon, which is September's full moon. This is a traditional name, and I do resonate with that, so that is how I refer to it. Autumn officially comes in September with the autumnal equinox, so it makes sense that the full moon that we honor in September reflect that with the name of the harvest moon. One thing that I kind of dug, which was on magicalrecipesonline.com. If you check out that website, they have a ton of stuff. But they also acknowledged that red wine, or that wine was harvested around this time, as well as crops. And I really kind of dug that because red wine especially is a very magical tool. A very magical tool. Tool came out kind of weird when I said it. It is something that can be used in lieu of blood for a lot of workings and spells. It is something that helps us with divination. It connects us kind of to that crone energy, that darker side of things. I really enjoy giving it as an offering, especially to my matron Hel, as well as Cernunnos in his dark phase, or dark time. I find that it is a great tool for connection. If I'm doing a meditation, or something that really is something that's going to connect, especially like an underworld journey or a past life regression, or something along those lines, I oftentimes will have a glass of red wine in the circle for water, or sometimes that is what I will choose. I will have a little sip of that wine before kind of launching into that meditation. I really do see it as a connector to other realms. And so I kind of like that the full moon, that Magical Recipes Online mentioned that, because this is the full moon before October. So this is kind of that connector through. The autumnal equinox I see very much as a connector, kind of guiding us into that Samhain energy. So this kind of connects us through to that kind of crone atmosphere. But also, the other kind of side of the coin for the autumnal equinox, I find, and thus the harvest moon, is that idea of gratefulness, that idea of abundance and prosperity. Well, I should say, not only the feeling of abundance and prosperity that we get with the harvests that are coming to fruition, but being thankful and grateful for them. I think in our society it's very easy to want. I know I, for one, am sometimes, it is very easy for me to see what others have and me wish that I had that as well. It's very easy for me to have something and it not be enough. I think in our society, we want more. And I don't know that there's necessarily anything wrong with wanting or manifesting more in our lives. But I think it becomes kind of dangerous and really unsatisfying when we are wanting more and perhaps even manifesting more in our lives, but we don't take the time to slow up and give thanks for that and be grateful for what we do have. I think in our fast-paced lives, it's very easy to forget, gee, I have a roof over my head. That's pretty damn cool. You know, there are people that don't have that. Not only do I have food on the table, but I have food in my refrigerator. I have food in my cabinets. That's something that my ancestors certainly didn't have often. That it was something they had to sacrifice for food. I have to go, I sacrifice my paycheck, I guess, but I go down to the grocery store. That's pretty easy. And then if we take it even a step further in real time, I have an abundance of food and opportunity to get food. There are people even in our society today that don't have that even. So taking the time to slow up and just be thankful and show gratitude for the things we do have in our lives, because I think if we took that time, we would realize we really do have even more than we need. I know I, for one, I a lot of time get caught up in the struggles of just living and paying the bills and making sure, Lily has everything she needs, I have everything I need, and then vanity kind of kicks in, and suddenly it's like, oh, but I want a new outfit for this, and I want to go out and do that, and just kind of slowing it up and realizing not only do I have everything I need, but I am living comfortably. It feels like I'm living paycheck to paycheck, but why am I living paycheck to paycheck? I'm living paycheck to paycheck because instead of just getting what I need with that paycheck, I'm doing a lot of things with that money that I don't necessarily need to do. It's things I want to do. And I could probably get a better handle of things and not be scraping to pennies by the time my next paycheck is gonna, come around that last day before payday. It's, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Well, there's nothing wrong with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And maybe if I didn't go out to dinner, 3 times that paycheck, I could have gone groceries and done something a bit more sustaining with it. I think this time of year with the harvest moon, yes, we are giving gratitude and thanks for the harvest that we've gotten, but it also gives us time to reflect and really take stock of what in our lives we have and give thanks for the things we have, but also maybe start weeding out the things we don't need, because with Samhain coming up, it's the time to shed the things that no longer serve. And maybe there's things that we keep perpetuating in our lives and we don't need to. And I think that's true of both physical and spiritual. And this moon, I think, reveals a lot of that to me, at least. Because as I'm being thankful, as I am coming before the goddess in gratefulness, it's pretty quick that I start seeing all the things that I have in my life that I really don't need. And maybe that's money I could be putting towards helping others who have less than me. So yeah, those are just some of the things I think about when it comes to the harvest moon. I do want to call in the Goddess Guidance Oracle. Goddess Guidance Oracle card. There it is. That I've chosen for this little altar. It is Abundantia. This is a Roman and Norse goddess of prosperity, success, and abundance, who is said to bring good fortune and financial windfalls to all who call upon her. She carries a cornucopia of gold coins, which trails behind her wherever she goes. One sign that she is with you is you'll find lots of spare change in unlikely locations. And rest assured that Abundantia brings more than pocket money to those who call upon her. She bestows all kinds of prosperity, including increased amounts of time, ideas, and other forms of support. I chose this card because I think it also calls into perspective ideas of prosperity. Oftentimes we look at it as material wealth, but what about time? What about thought and creativity? What about kindness? There's so many ways that we can be prosperous and find abundance, and it's just something to keep in mind, I think. So yeah, that is why I chose her on this little altar. So as far as the lunar incense, which looks like it has burned itself out, I may have smothered the coil or the coal. The incense I have for the lunar blend is blessed thistle, violet, sandalwood, pomegranate. The pomegranate is pomegranate oil, I should specify. Apple, gardenia oil, cherry, and I believe I used cherry wood, not just cherries, rose petals, and poppy seed. The reason I use this blend is I really wanted to have a nice balance. I wanted to have, the love of the cherry wood and the rose, and yes, the violet, and the blessed thistle, giving its energies towards healing and mercy, because there are so many that are in need, and really it calls to thought. It calls me to think. There we go. Of those less fortunate. Whenever I work with blessed thistle, I really remember a candle that I made in the past for the Mother Mary. And although I do not work with her, I don't connect to her. A lot of her themes and energies are tied up in that blessed thistle. And so when I think of her and the charity that she represents, and the compassion and the mercy and the undying love that she is kind of a representation of, that kind of comes through with when I work with blessed thistle. But then you have things that kind of bring out the other world, the darker side that's kind of coming in, with the sandalwood and the pomegranate, and the poppy seed, and even the gardenia oil. It's not so much to bring about those kind of crone energies, but more so give you that time to kind of think a little bit more deeper. What is prosperity to you? What is abundance to you? What is gratefulness to you? With the autumnal equinox, people call it, the witch's Thanksgiving. What are you thankful for? Truly, what does that mean to you? It's very easy, I think, to say, oh, I'm very thankful for this and this and this and this, but to truly understand and really even begin to wrap your head around what a blessing it is to have just the basic things and not have to constantly worry about where are you going to get, money for rent? Where are you going to get money for gas? Where are you going to get money for food? If you don't have to worry about that on a daily basis, maybe think about those that do have to worry. It calls into action kind of that thinking of others for me, to have those other energies there. Plus pomegranate juice. I think I said oil. I meant juice. Pomegranate juice is what I used. Is another, was used much like red wine in certain spells. It can connect or be used as a representation of blood. So if you have a spell or a working or a recipe that calls for blood, you can sub it out for red wine. You can sub it out for pomegranate juice. You can sub it out even cherry juice, I've read, in certain ways. So those two components also kind of tie back to that wine idea, that blood concept, the blood that connects us, not only to our own ancestors and kith and kin that we'll be honoring with Samhain, but also to our fellow man. It kind of puts it into perspective a bit more. Then for this specific moon, for the harvest, I have nettle for protection, parsley for gratitude and thanks, basil is a great all-arounder. It's good for cleansing. It is good for protection. It is good for, exorcism kind of goes in with cleansing. It's good for prosperity. It's good for luck. It's good for love. It's good for all sorts of wonderful things. So yeah, anytime you're kind of sitting there and like, I don't know what to use here, I suggest basil. It probably has it covered. Then I topped it off with bergamot oil for that last little bit of prosperity and abundance energy for the harvest. So yeah, that is in a nutshell, or a 15 or so minute video, my incense blend that I made for the harvest moon this last year. I hope you guys liked it. Bye guys. Blessed be. See ya.